thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it can build and build until you finally see. Whoa.
Good morning. Well, in your case, probably good afternoon or evening, everyone. It is Animanga, and I am here with a special tournament brought to you by, technically, Legoman, but it was meant to be Nightshroud's tournament. However, Nightshroud gifted it to Legoman. So Legoman, this is the tournament you've been waiting for a while. Planetary alignment, obviously following the plot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga. Now, I'm going through first off the basic lore, the starting lore of the tournament. Principal Mackenzie, aka the dual spirit Tragodia Trag, controlling him, head of American Academy, has finally found those that stole away his planetary monsters by tracking them to the GX Duel Academy. In order to hunt down the cards he needs, he has unleashed his most dangerous and ruthless duelists. The duelists are students and teachers into the island. These people have thrived under American Academy's hellish and brutal training regimen. And because of that, beating them will take all our heroes have to offer. Yeah, dang right. I know, well, if Tragodia gets his hands on all the planetary cards he needs, he will be able to enact a ritual that will finally restore him to his full body, giving him all the power he needs to take his revenge on the world that created him and sealed him away. So, that is obviously the basic lore for this tournament. However, we do have ending lore we'll have after the tournament. So first up, not on your screen, of course, because it's a returning character, is Dante Asherton. Dante has been feeling a presence watching him ever since American Academy began its invasion of the island. And not just the uncomfortable feeling of blazing Mars always following him and trying to tempt him into burning down whatever building he's closest to. He's unfortunately gotten kind of used to that one. How do we ever get used to a situation like that? An evil demon entity that's a dual spirit is telling you to be a pyromaniac? How does that work? He fears the fact that Tragodia has finally found him after he ran away from American Academy with the Mars card, and is now extremely worried and paranoid for his safety. Alexandra, the mother of Helena. I'm actually shocked Helena's not in this tournament because she would probably dominate again like she always does. Alexandra has heard of all the chaos that's occurred at Duel Academy over time, so she felt coming over to help would be useful. Plus, it's a good way to get her mind off some very unpleasant reveals she's discovered recently involving her husband, or rather, in progress, ex-husband. I'm making an X with my arms. She's been heard calling Helena and whispering some sort of explanation to her. But no one else knows what happened yet. She doesn't know too much about all this spirit stuff, but hopes her own dueling skills can at least come in handy. Truly Rivera, the one with Tripper Mercury, right? I like Truly. Truly had some big wins, didn't he? No, he's had a lot of losses, but he recently had a big win. Didn't he beat Noon? He beat Noon, I think. Am I wrong on that? Anyway, Truly has always felt that he wasn't worthy of guarding over Tripper Mercury, yes, like his cousin wanted. He's been beaten down every time he tries to stand up to a threat, yeah. And even became part of the enemy forces when he was converted to the Society of Light. This insecurity has caused him to create an entirely new deck to try working with, especially now that his cousin has arrived to take back Mercury. His hopes aren't high for himself, but at least wants to try doing all he can like he always does, even if it may not amount to much. You know, he's a good duelist. Freak. I'm gonna admit it. He's a good duelist. He just has had terrible luck in these tournaments, Lego. He's actually good. I've tested him, and in his testing, he actually wins more than actual tournaments. Does that shock you? And now the woman on your screen, Clara Rivera, the cousin of Truly Rivera, and an upperclassman at American Academy. She was pushed to attend the academy by her family, and as such has been forced to follow its brutal training regimen for 3 years now. She managed to get on Principal Mackenzie's radar, which caused him to attempt to recruit her into his cause and bestow upon her the Tripper Mercury card. However, full of spite for the academy, Clara sent the card over to Truly instead. Ever since then, Mackenzie and his inner circle have been more or less torturing her by overworking her even more than she already was, trying to force the information of where Mercury is out of her in return for them finally letting her take a break from their teachings. Oh my gosh. Their training regimen's like the dang military. She's been holding on this entire time for the safety of her cousin. And now she's been reunited with Tripper Mercury by Truly, planning to use her to stop Trigodia's plans. Well, good. Next, Carolina Nightingale, an infamous teacher at the American Academy who's known as the most brutal and monstrous. Really? I can't tell by looking at her. She holds no sympathy for her students and overworks them until they pass out. Oh my gosh, this is basically like season 3 at the beginning of GX with Viper. And overworks them until they pass out, making them hone their dueling skills every second they can, every single second. She also has a focus on summoning her boss monster, the Tyrant Neptune. Oh my gosh, in my opinion, the strongest of the planets. Quickly, in order to wipe out her opponent as fast and relentlessly as she can. She seems to care little for what Principal Mackenzie is actually up to here. She just wants to whip the students of the GX Duel Academy into shape. Next, she's creepy. Oh, Beatrix Van Buren. Hello. Beatrix is a student of American Academy that's thrived under its brutal teachings thanks to her enjoyment of pain tactics and drawing out duels to torment her opponent. Taking the time to break them mentally if she can, yes. She's traveled from American Academy on this mission from its principal, Principal Mackenzie. He even gave her one such special card, the Despair Uranus. Yeah, one of the cards that only Master Duel has. Tag Force Special does not have it. To make sure she has the power she needs to get back the cards he's searching for. She's particularly interested in Dante, as she can tell he has a lot of internal despair that will be very fun for her to stir around. She's even been following him around, just watching him and enjoying his idle misery. Okay, no. No, she's not as cool as I thought she was. She's mean. Centurion Lich, the guy who only seems to lose to Novo. He beats everyone else but Novo. After that funny and weird ending towards Novo's plan, this dark entity has returned despite the apparent loss to Novo's good half. All because he's already gotten what he quite needed during the 2 events. But upon hearing about the American Academy's arrival to the island, and seemingly seeking some sort of special cards, the Lich's interest is drawn in once more. He has sensed a dark being with the American Academy principal, something that is familiar. So he has decided to step in and sample upon the chaos that shall happen. Mwahaha! These legendary planet cards might be pieces of a puzzle. Next, first new character for Nightshroud, Yori. A quite... Oh, sorry. Why did you put it like that? Quite a powerful and strange student. That is... That... What? What is this wording? That has shown up along with a particular gal, too. No one knows if him and her were students here this whole time or were where they are from, but it appears he is sent to investigate something on the island with his partner. What's weird is how he happens to be using a deck that just like what Angelica was using, and at the same time others felt dread in facing him. Yuri here was told to look into something, and upon seeking how American Academy is attacking, sees this as an opportunity to try out his skills, though he is... What? Though he is... Oh, baffled. He could... What? Though he is baffled... Oh, and then... Okay. As he could have sworn he saw a little dragon, apparently wielding his precious starving venom fusion dragon. Oh my gosh, the wording. I had to watch myself on that one. Sorry, Nightshroud. I tried to word it best I could. Next, Selena. Quite a tough gal, who's partners with Yori, excuse me. Yori the trainer who trains? Yes, you're Yori the trainer who trains. Wonder if anyone gets that quote. Just like Yuri, no one knows what she and Yuri are doing on the island or even aware if they are students here or not. I want to know even. I wonder if Kybex knows. She appears to be on a mission to investigate something at the school with Yuri. When American Academy is attacking, she sees this as a funny chance to try out her skills and maybe get some info. Her bracelet seems to act a little strange when she could have sworn she saw a little dragon wielding the very dragon that Yori uses along with another dragon. Interesting. Next, Atticus. Atticus, my boy Atticus. I love Atticus. So technically he's been in a tournament. He was in Shadow Riders as Nightshroud, of course. And Nightshroud wants, naturally, the sub Nightshroud wants the guy who is Nightshroud on his team. This is regular Atticus. Atticus has seen a lot of crazy stuff that has happened on campus and has gone through a lot too. From being possessed for who knows how long by some dark entity named Darkness. Well, I wouldn't tell them who it is. It's just some dark entity, just say that. Whose mask is now sealed in a card Atticus carries. To waking up to finding out a weird alien or whatever tried to kill him. And then the said alien got chased off by his red eyes that somehow manifested and the spirit now just sits. Does that even make sense how I said that? Well, you're going to have to make use of it, guys. Cutely pouting. Oh, I know. Cutely pouting while staying watch for Atticus. So an entity came forth. Okay, I see. And now things turn crazier when he sees some other school is downright attacking the academy. While he feels uncomfortable, ashamed maybe, to use his Red Eyes deck at the moment, due to the time possessed by Darkness Nightshroud. He luckily has a couple of other decks to use as he tries to get through this mess, though his Atmosphere deck is missing. So he has to use his Beast Warrior Performance deck. I like that deck better anyway. That's actually my favorite deck of his. That's why I use it in Tag Force. He hopes he can find out who yoinked his Atmosphere deck. Next, from Nightshroud. Obviously he has a bunch of new characters because, he just started recently a few weeks ago. On Halloween, the Halloween tournament, I believe. Martlet. a rather scatterbrained but kind and goofy bird-like being that just showed up out of nowhere at the Dual Academy Island. She's a bit skeptical about humans and often refers to her so-called Royal Guard's protocol book, but is harmless. But people keep mistaking her as a dual monster spirit due to she calls herself a monster when referring to a species, referring to herself as a species. Hilariously, she's been causing quite a mess with misplacing stuff and keeps flipping and turning stuff into traps and puzzles. Ooh. It's like that one puzzle anime I adore so much. Puzzle of God. This is one of the best animes I've ever seen in my life back then. All because her guidebook says she must, what was his name? Kaito, the puzzle master. And oh my gosh, that was a great anime. Excuse me. Anyway. Well, there's should be hold on, let me make sure. Hilariously, she's been causing quite a mess and misplacing stuff and keeps turning stuff into puzzles traps, all because her guidebook says she must make puzzles to impede stuff. Apparently, she duels with an atmosphere deck she claims to found somewhere. Yeah, we know who stole Atticus's atmosphere deck. It might or might not have belonged to a certain top student who was missing till recently. Top student? Is he not trash in this lore like he is in the anime? I'm talking about duel-wise. Oops. When American Academy launched their attack, she hopes her rather wonky and badly made puzzles would mess with the attackers as she tries to fend off some of them. And now, hold on a second. Sorry. Now, we are going into Jamie Jam's crew, and Jamie Jam's, I bet you love that intro. I try my best to make it emo as heck. Justice's new pick. I love it. Who made this? Whoever made this did a good job. Did you commission this? Anyway, I would have drawn it for if you wanted me to. Justice. After returning to their time, Justice rushes to Victoria in the library with Angelica in pursuit. They pass Sky and Maid Luna, and they chase after Justice too. He finally arrives, but is too late. Nedrick stands over Victoria's bloodied body. Justice, overcome with rage, tackles Nedrick to the ground, and they begin to tussle. They knock over bookshelves. In the midst of the tussle, Angelica tosses Justice a big textbook. On the cover says how to be a good father. Irony abounds. And he, oh my gosh, you have so much irony in you, Jamie Jams. And he begins to beat Nedrick to the death with it. Before the final blow, Nedrick mutters the word, son. And this angers Justice. More hitting. He hits him more and then hits him one final time, killing him. Once that happened, an invisible being named Ira, it must be said like that, Ira, goes inside Justice. But no one sees this. He then lifts up Victoria, carrying her to the castle. A week passes, which I showed, and Justice has his hand on a tube where Victoria's body is being reserved. I will bring you back, Mom, he says. A knock is then heard at the door to his secret lab. Justice was in his lab, remembering something his mom told him when Angelica came in asking to help protect Dante. Something about plants and a big bug-looking thing. Could that be Trag? Maybe. He was confused but determined to help his little sis. Angelica, and you will not believe this, but Angelica has a more grown-up looking pic. Has she grown up? Angelica, hello? Puberty hit real fast? Angelica, how did she grow that fast, like in 1 week? Angelica is worried for Dante, so she asks her big bro and some of her friends to help protect him from the people that are after him. She found a couple cards Her mom left her in a box and decided to add them to her deck. She's noticed how hard Justice is currently taking Victoria's loss and hopes to help him with anything he needs. Maid Luna. She has a new deck though, not the frog deck anymore. Maid Luna has been trying her best to comfort Justice during his dark time in this life. Angelica was asked for her help in protecting Dante and is happy to help. She's even happier to see Justice out and about and not cooped up in his lab. She decides to pull out a deck she has been keeping hidden and thinks now is the best time for her to use it. Yes. Let's go, Maid Luna. She's a really good duelist. I like her. Sky. She was the one to hold Justice while he cried himself to sleep that night. She's trying to balance comforting Justice and taking care of her Queen of Games duties. That's right. We can never forget she's Queen of Games right now. And this is not really a Queen of Games or King of Games tournament. So technically Sky is just the queen right now. When Angelica asked for her help, she was happy to accept, but did not expect to see Justice out of the lab helping as well. She also whipped up a new deck. She's like Justice. She has a bunch of new decks every week. Next new character from Jimmy Jim's. He has a couple new ones. Ruby Robinson is an exchange student from London who just arrived when Justice walked outside his castle to go help Angelica. Hello, Ruby. Top of the morning, governor. She told him that a lady named Victoria was supposed to take care of her while she was here. Justice winced at the statement and explained that Victoria can't take care of her, but he can. He then takes her hand and takes her with and she goes with him to help Angelica. She had a deck, so she thought she could at least help a little bit. Little does he know the menace she can be in dueling. Yeah, creepy, especially after seeing that deck she has. Next, and oh my gosh, it's Mercenary Tao. Hello, Mercenary Tao. Pleased to kill you. Oh, I know Mercenary Tao very well. I adored the Dragon Ball anime, the OG Dragon Ball anime before Z. But back then, no one knew the OG Dragon Ball in America before Z. Everyone knew Z first. But I remember seeing the OG Dragon Ball. I was like, my God, Jackie Chun and General Tao are my favorite characters. They were just the best characters. Or, Roshi. Jackie Chun, Roshi. As much as people would like you to believe they're separate people. But anyway, Mercenary Tao is like the first real, true villain Goku fought. I mean, he did fight the Red Ribbon Army before, and he fought General Blue, but General Tao was freaking epic. He was like the first truly menacing, overpowering villain he fought. And his voice was iconic. It's just that perfect nasally villain voice that I love so much. Anyway. Okay. Mercenary Tao. Oh, excuse me. Ronan Williams, an assassin who Principal Mackenzie has hired to hunt down the wielders of the legendary planets he's searching for. He's ruthless and unyielding, willing to do whatever it takes to complete a job. Yeah. He's not cheap either, I bet. Just like in Dragon Ball anime. Hold on. I'll finish this. He was given the legendary planet Grand Jupiter to make sure he can follow through with his mission. Oh man, you gave him one of the better ones, Jupiter. I still think Neptune's the best one. Anyway, so before I begin Mitchell's group, I just want to say, this man, like Mercenary Tao, was so powerful that he even, I think he started the trend where the villain kills the hero or thinks they killed the hero, or they just, but he thought he killed Goku. But anyway, they beat him and then they go away for a while. They're like, oh, they can't beat me. And he even went and it took I don't remember, 3 days to make his new clothes that Goku tore up. That's just so little things like that add nuance to a character. Like Merrick and his love of ice cubes and motorcycles gives him nuance. Pegasus and his love of, white wine and cheeses or red wine and cheeses is nuance. He loves cartoons. That's a lot of nuance. Showing all that stuff is nuance. And that's what makes a great villain. That's all I wanted to say. Next, Gunther. This is Mitchell's first new character. Well, I think he has two new characters here. A rogue Neptunian who was exiled to Pluto after trying to take over Neptunia. He found a source of power at the core of Pluto, and it became a powerful card named the Suppression Pluto. I don't like this one. This is the only one I don't like. He uses a type of monster called worms in his deck. We'll see about that. Hold on, I'll have to test them out. Aside from Pluto, with the power of the Pluto card, Gunther escapes to Earth, where Pluto leads him to Duel Academy. He wants to seek revenge on the Neptunians, but he senses cards as powerful as Pluto at this school and decides to acquire them first. And hello, Viper. Speaking of you earlier, U.S. Army General Thelonious Viper. After a madman named Mackenzie showed up on the island, and then a rogue Neptunian appeared, Manfred Wright makes a phone call he'd hope he wouldn't have to. Instead of sending the Air Force to the island, President Uriel, that's right, the President of the United States, dispatches his top soldier with a Venom deck. Hell no, he's not your top soldier. U.S. Army General Thelonious Viper, aka Venomanaga. I used to love when Sean Schimmel would say it in the anime. Venomanaga. Venomenon. To face the threat is Thelonious Viper. Viper uses a powerful snake deck that can weaken both his opponents and their monsters in quick succession. Pearl Raziel. Winged Karibo warned Pearl about Mackenzie, and that Mackenzie would come for them. Now he has arrived on the island, and Pearl sees all the turmoil. She promptly decides to get off her lazy butt and go confront Mackenzie directly. Wait, wasn't she a student already? Could have sworn she was a student. Okay, Lucy Kalulu. Lucy was the first Neptunian to see Gunther's ship land on the island. She had seen Gunther on the news back on Neptunia. They have news in Neptunia? Neptunia news, now. So she recognizes him when he steps off of his ship. Lucy rushes off to warn the other Neptunians and gets caught up in the chaos going on involving Mackenzie. Melvin Gallagher, haven't seen him in a while. Lucy bumps into Melvin and tells him Gunther is on the island. Melvin learned of Gunther while he was on Neptunia and rushes off to confront the rogue alien in order to protect his Neptunian friends. He noticed the Terra Firma card in his deck beginning to react when he gets close to Mackenzie. That's right, he's the Terra Firma user. He's the Earth user. Hold on, I need to drink water. And the final and returning character of Mitchell Slaughter, Manfred Wright. Manfred saw the island being invaded by two foes at once and promptly called President Uriel personally to call in an airstrike. The president told Manfred to calm down and dispatched General Viper to the island to face the threat. Manfred then decided to go keep Mackenzie and his lackeys and Gunther busy until Viper arrives. Viper arrived via boat a short time later. Well, don't worry, because I don't think Viper's going to do much against them. He's about to get smacked. Venom cards are terrible. Now, Serenity Spider Monkey's crew, all returning, of course. Yuma Nakamura. Yuma Nakamura. After reuniting with Jeannie, I have finally got that name correct, haven't I? Yuma makes it her mission to never leave her sister's side ever again. Thankfully, not in an embarrassing, overbearing way like when they were kids. She starts to have feelings for Sota Kawai and promises to keep his little sisters safe from harm. Elf Valkyria notices Prue's growing power and decides she needs to take action again. Armed with her magic fishing rod, she takes the deck Lexi and her built together into battle. She's determined to protect Lexi and friends. Now, I think we're getting into the beef of the lore for GX, for Serenity Spider Monkey, because I see who's down on her list, on their list. Casey Kawai, main character, starts looking up to Elf Valkyria and an underrated hero when she sees Valkyria as a supporting character in one of the favorite video game series. Casey promises to be brave just like Hita is teaching her to be, excuse me. Super happy, oh my gosh, what's wrong with my words? Super happy after Casey promises to be brave, super happy after her performance in recent tournaments and hearing how well Serenity did in last night's adventure in the other place in time, aka the past. How did you hear about that? Ryan Nakamura, much longer name I know, or Jeannie Nakamura, whatever you want to say, the whole name. Ryan, Jenny, Elise, having won a recent tourney, that's right, won St. Joan, the St. Joan champ. Jeannie is riding on cloud 9 and her ego is pretty much through the roof. When she notices how cool Casey is becoming, she begins having feelings for her, and the two start watching cartoons about sea life together. Why sea life? Interesting. Oh, because the beach stuff. They probably just are all around sea life all the time, especially while Casey is in the hospital. Casey thinks that before this, she really didn't know Jeannie at all. But now they're practically best friends, joking and quoting their favorite cartoon together. And finally, Black Sorceress Prue has returned, looking to conquer the island and brainwash the legendary planets for her world domination goal. We know she's the real main villain here. She's irate that the Charmers are protecting so many humans from her influence. She asks Giselle to let her handle things this time, and Giselle happily obliges, determined to also keep her younger tomboy cousin out of the spotlight. Amber Blaze. After saving James Westaway with the help of her friends, Jane and Marion, Amber's been laying low for a while. She notices others with cards of a similar aura to her Light End Dragon card. That's right, she does have it. Good add-in, Serenity Spider Monkey. Jeannie insults her and goads her into a match, much to Casey's and Lexi's displeasure. Amber wipes her out as a shred of her corrupted persona breaks through. Amber tells Jeannie to not get in her way and demands to see Jeannie's most powerful card. She's angry when Jeannie shows her Athena. She tells Jeannie she doesn't comprehend the real power of the planet card she holds. Oh, right. Doesn't she hold Venus? Wait, which one does she hold? No, it's just Light and Dragon. Okay. Wait, am I right? And a punk kid like her isn't worthy of such a card. Jeannie wonders if Amber is confusing her with someone else. Yeah, it must be. That's what I was thinking. And now 3 new characters. Principal Mackenzie, aka Tragodia, Trag, David Rabb, and Reggie McKenzie. Now, they will have their canon decks. I'm guessing she'll have Venus. And of course, Saturn will go to Rab. And it took a while to find Rab's picture. And Mackenzie, of course, uses the Supremacy Sun and Tragodia. So these 3 characters are very essential to the plot. And it was demanded by Lego that I add them in. And of course, we need them. So yeah, these are these 3. and they are part of my crew. Now, I'm one of only two people competing in this tournament that does not have 6 characters in. Everyone has 6, except for Nightshroud and me. Nightshroud has 5, and I have 5. So you're probably wondering, that's only 3 duelists, Animanga. What is your 4th and 5th? Well, my 4th character and the 33rd character in this tournament is Novo Young. He has returned. He cannot resist defeating a good villain. Very sick from what had just happened. Also, even though Lego has forgiven him, he's not sure the others have. And he's very, let's just say, he's very embarrassed by his actions. Of course, he couldn't really control it much. He can't really control that other part of him. So he doesn't wish to bother them. He just wishes to help. That's what he wants. So he may be doing this in silence and quiet. Maybe he can make it up to them and try to stop this new threat to their academy. Who knows? He is the villain slayer after all. I actually typed that. That was cheesy. And the final 34th character in this tournament, and my 5th duelist, ex-Professor Keith. That's right. He's quit his job because Keith can't hold down a job for more than a week. His only good job is being a cheating scumbag former American champion duelist. Sick of this BS at Duel Academy and quits his boring as hell job, punches the Chancellor and escapes before Kybax can detain him, runs into Mackenzie's crew by chance, and thinks these dweebs could be fun to use for a while. Meanwhile, he's gonna crush some weak duelists and call them with his new pals, aka dweebs. You're all dweebs. So there's my 5, and that's our 34 duelists. I hope you guys enjoy this upcoming tournament. Remember, now I'm not entirely sure. I really hope no one else runs Venus, because I'm putting Venus in Reggie's deck. And I'm pretty sure no one else runs Saturn. And I like David Rabb. He's a cool machine duelist, so I like him. And Mackenzie, of course, I know no one has Supremacy Sun. So the only one I'm worried about is Reggie Mackenzie if we double up on Venus. Because doesn't Genie have it? Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. The channel's name's Animanga. See you for the tournament. Bye.